Business owners who aren't making enough money and can't seem to turn their potential into income, this is for you. Today, we're going to get started on solving that problem. So, this is a jar of coins, and it represents the amount of income currently being produced by your business. Here's the money we have, and here's the money we don't have, and here's the person overseeing all of this. This is the person responsible for your income. We might call them the Chief Income Officer. But today, we're going to call that person the CEO. And in case you hadn't realized, that person is you. But of course, that's not your only job, because you likely have several other roles within the business. These might include practitioner, admin, marketing, sales, management, finance, as well as the CEO. Now, a lot of these are operational roles, which means the business starts to fall over if they don't get done, and therefore they often take precedence over the CEO role. Now, alongside all of that, you've got your life. You've got family, you'll have illness sometimes, holidays, social life, the general admin of the rest of your life, paying bills, cleaning up. And all of this combined has the force of a tornado when it comes to stopping you from getting into that CEO role. Now, all of these things combined do such a good job of pulling you away from your most important role that the typical business ends up with the CEO in place for 0 hours per week on a lot of weeks. So whenever things get busy, that role disappears. And even on a good week, it might be a couple of hours. So let's average it out and say we've got 1 hour, a 1 hour per week CEO. That's 2.5% of our week. Now, if we go up here and revise our goals and recognize that increasing our income is an important goal and possibly our number one goal, we start to see what the problem is. The problem is that our input doesn't match our desired output. So our income is too low because our investment in increasing income is too low. So right there, we've found a huge source of our underperformance. Our biggest KPI then becomes time at work. And that's not time at work across all of our roles. It's time at work for one very specific role. It's time at work for our CEO. It's time at work for our Chief Income Officer, the person whose responsibility it is to increase our income. Now, let's take a look at the impact of that. Let's say we've got two identical twins and they own two identical businesses. In one of them, we've got a 1 hour CEO. They show up to that role and sit down and say, right, how do we increase income? They show up for that role 1 hour per week. And in the other business, we've got a 10 hour per week CEO. This business on the right has 10 times the amount of energy, 10 times the amount of force going in to making the progress that they're looking to make. As a double whammy, they're also gaining 10 times the experience in the CEO role. So it's going to take this guy 10 weeks to learn what their twin learns in 1 week. And so right there, we've uncovered, without increasing your ability without increasing your skill set or your intelligence, we've found a way to increase your performance several times. So, how do we fix this? The most important message I want to give you here is that the knowledge that we now have will not get us paid. Knowing where that CEO needs to be will not get us paid. What gets us paid is the amount of energy that we put into helping that CEO get into their role. Because even if it is 1 hour per week, that 1 hour is sacred. All of our goals and dreams lie within that 1 hour. So let's look at what it takes to get into that seat, whether it's 1 hour or 10 or 20 or 40. The first thing we need is motivation. We need to want to get in that role, or the tornado will pull us away. The biggest motivation for getting there is that that role pays you $1,000 per hour or more. That's something we're going to cover in the next video. The second thing is that we've got to accept the CEO role so we can get paid better. And we've got to accept the hours of the role. If you were offered this role by another company, they would expect you to show up for a certain amount of hours. 3, we've got to make time. We need a bubble of time to sit in that chair and perform that role. 4, once we've opened that time up, we need to protect it like a fortress. And 5, we need to know what to do. If we get into that chair and I'm not sure what to do and we feel unproductive, then we're going to move somewhere else. We're going to go and find something else to do, even if that's our inbox or you might even clean the house. All right, we're about to finish up for today. So what's the takeaway? Battle 1 is to show up. That means you getting into that CEO chair, looking at your current income, looking at your desired income, and figuring out how to remove the barriers that are holding you back, how to remove those constraints. You may need better pricing. You may need more customers. You may need more staff. You may need to be more efficient. But the important thing is that you show up and start working through that set of problems. Battle 2 is to do that job better. And that's what we're going to cover in the next video. But it's important that we only see that as the second battle, because no matter how good we are, we can't do anything if we can't get into that chair. Do you accept the job? If you'd like to take a screenshot, I'm going to zoom out and label this up for you. If you'd like a higher resolution copy, get in touch, coach@davegillen.com.au. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.